Hi, hello. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome back. Church with Bo. We're here. Let's get it. Let's jump right into some news. Okay, first off, we've had a good amount of time off. So there was an 8.8 magnitude earthquake off the coast, off the far east coast of Russia. Russia had like a tsunami hit their coast because of it, as a result of it. And then the rest of like it looked like almost every country in the Ring of Fire had a tsunami warning. It was like Alaska, I think parts of Canada, California, down to Mexico, I think pretty much all the way down to Chile. And basically, it was a giant earthquake deep underground, ended up causing some sort of crazy tsunami-age. I don't know. I don't know what this means. I talked to my friends in California. They said in the Bay Area, closer to San Francisco, there wasn't really much of it. But I did hear that I think it was in Fort Bragg or Crescent City. Yeah, I think it was Crescent City. Got like some huge waves like 7 feet taller than expected.
Overnight, a massive earthquake off the coast of Russia, triggering tsunami warnings across the Pacific Rim. People running.
Exactly. Tsunami warning all across the Pacific Rim. Let's see what they're saying here.
Around, taking shelter on top of a building. Across Hawaii, California, and Alaska, officials issuing tsunami warnings. Sirens sounding off on the island of Oahu, locals rushing to evacuate.
Right. So many people in Hawaii fled inland, got to the hills. I don't know if they even have enough infrastructure in like even just Oahu. I imagine the other islands, they just get to the highest point and probably hopefully have some sort of bunker built. I don't know. But even in Oahu, is there some sort of plan in place? Do they have like some sorts of bunkers built into the volcanoes or, the mountains, hills on the Hawaiian inland? Because that could be very easy, you just dig into the rock, right, and put like some sort of giant cement and, you know, interior supported by like metal. I don't know how to build a bunker, I'm not gonna lie. My bunkering skills have been out of date. But yeah, this was a big thing that happened. This shit felt pretty crazy. And I was personally more worried than like anybody else. I was telling all my friends in California, yeah, you haven't heard about this? And they were all saying, no, what are you talking about? Oh my God. And then the next day, they'd all slept through it, basically. Okay, next up, El Salvador approves indefinite presidential re-election and extends terms to 6 years. I mean, come on, guys. What does this sound like to you? I'll take fascism for $500, Jerry. Not not too far of a reach, I don't think. Indefinite presidential re-election, and I believe it's his last year, something like that. It's like either he's halfway through his term or it was supposed to be like his last year, or next year was his last year, and they had to do a re-election campaign. He pushed it 2 more years. So he doesn't have to worry about any opponents. Any potential opponents are gonna be in the fucking seat cot. the Disneyland for gang members or whatever they're calling it in El Salvador. And this is the guy that we're sending immigrants to. This is who you're sending your immigrants to, America. I don't know. I don't know what this could mean besides him setting up a dictatorship. I mean, think about it. He pretty much got any opposition or possible opposition in the form of cartel warfare axed out easily, had that approved, made Bitcoin the national currency, had that approved. I think it was on Tucker Carlson. He said that he was talking to people and they were saying that government officials were telling Tucker that they just get news from the Facebook from this guy who Kelly's live streams on Facebook. He tells the whole public in a live stream, whoever's watching in his country, what's going to happen over the next months and weeks or whatever. He basically changes policy live on Facebook. And then his government workers watching it on Facebook enact it. They immediately go and enact the changes and figure out how they can do what he's talking about. I mean, like I said, it just seems like he's giving himself an extra 2 years so he can crush any potential opposition to, people that might be running against him type of a situation. You know, I don't know. But smells like a dictatorship to me. Call it what you will, call it whatever you want to see, but it smells like a dictatorship to me. Do do do. North Koreans tell BBC they are being sent to work like slaves in Russia, which means that in North Korea, wherever these people are being sent from in North Korea, they were living at least relatively decent for their own standards. And now whatever Russia's doing to them feels like torture. Thousands of North Koreans are being sent to work in slave-like conditions in Russia to fill a huge labor shortage exacerbated by Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine. The BBC has learned Moscow has reportedly turned to Pyongyang to help it fight the war, using its missiles, artillery shells, and its soldiers. Now, with many of Russia's men either killed or tied up fighting, or having fled the country, South Korean intelligence officials have told the BBC that Moscow is increasingly relying on North Korean laborers. We interviewed 6 North Korean workers who have fled Russia since the start of the war, along with South Korean government officials, researchers, and those helping to rescue the laborers. They detailed how the men are subjected to abysmal working conditions and how the North Korean authorities are tightening their control over the workers to stop them escaping. Why not fucking deal with the companies you're sending them to not enslave them? Something's off. The North Korean Labor Department is got its head on backwards. Oh, good, good, we have one. One of the workers, Jin, told the BBC that when he landed in Russia's Far East, he was chaperoned from the airport to a construction site by a North Korean security agent who ordered him not to talk to anyone or look at anything. The outside world is our enemy, the agent told him. He was put straight to work. Wait, he was put straight to work. Fresh off the plane, building high-rise apartment blocks for more than 18 hours a day. I mean, how well do you expect a man to work when he's got to work for 18 hours every day and he knows that's all that's coming, you know? Oh, wow, why these workers so lazy? No, Kim, I mean, the workers you sent us is so lazy. They barely doing anything and they working 18 hours a day. Are they sleeping 6 hours a day? Yeah, and they have no days off. No, never. Okay, well then why do they need to work harder if they're just gonna die anyway doing that? All six workers we spoke to described the same punishing workdays, waking at 6 a.m. and being forced to build high-rise apartments until 2 a.m. the next morning, with just 2 days off a year. A year. Yeah, so he ends up destroying the YouTube.
By a Russian official in April shows a North Korean man working on a construction site in Russia's Far East. He's one of thousands.
Okay. I think judging by that sad man next to a dog. I don't know if the other guy was like some kind of supervisor, if that's also another. Oh God, and they're in Vladivostok. Vladivostok, gang. Shit. Vladivostok is it's a nice place from what I've seen. I follow this girl on YouTube who grew up out there and she left when Russia invaded Ukraine. She fled the country type thing and moved to like Georgia and somewhere else. I don't know. But she does like vlogs of, Russian girl in other countries now. And hopefully we, her YouTube fans, I guess, can support her enough to keep her traveling and not get back sent back to Vladivostok because looks like it's some shit going on back where she's from.
There's a North Korean man working on a
Is
construction
that
site
dog also working on the construction site? I don't understand.
after receiving no money for 2 years. His working by
우리는 인간이 아니라 we were treated like animals, not humans. The other workers used to say we were just slaves for Kim Jong-un. They used to taunt us. We're not men, just machines that can speak.
Holy shit. I mean, that's not good. You're not men. You're just machines that can speak. That's how you treat your imported coworkers. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how any imported workers of these kinds are being treated anywhere. I have heard stories from some Romanians when I went back who went to England and worked in England in a similar type of program, but with less slavery going on, less 18-hour days, more like 10-hour days, 1 day off a week, maybe, I don't know, something like that. The pay is like very mean. And then you have to still pay for shit living in like London. So you end up with like being able to barely save enough money to go out and eat once a week if you would even do something like that. Like crazy. And I think most of them end up being so like, down from all the bullshit they're going through, being basically, indentured servants, that they spend most of their extra money just drinking. Like I'm sure a lot of them will literally just Western Union or Cash App now the money like that they have extra to like their family, their wives and just be like, yep, because otherwise they know they're just going to end up going and drinking it all away. Because why wouldn't you? The conditions are truly abysmal. You know, I'm for workers' rights. We here at the Church with Bo, much like church is supposed to be in general, are for the people, by the people, not for indentured servitude. All right, let's do some lightning rounds for the next ones. Headline zone. Ghislaine Maxwell asked Supreme Court to toss sex trafficking conviction, citing Epstein plea deal. Yeah, she said that she might be willing to speak if they drop the sex trafficking. I mean, why do we believe her? Why would anyone believe that she would tell the truth? She's just going to make up some bullshit, keep whoever she wants out of the story, obviously not tell them the whole story that her dad started everything and they've been working with the Israeli government or whoever, Israeli military, for many, many years now. And her dad knew too much or something and got thrown off of a boat. Fucking lock her up. I can't believe that they're, even. I think her money and her connections are basically just pushing her out and into better conditions. It's sad. It's sad. Rooters. Oh, yes. Gotta read. It's going to be a short episode this week, but hopefully it's a good one for everyone. I'll try my very best to get another one out by Sunday or Saturday if I can. We'll see. We'll see. U.S. military deploying forces to Southern Caribbean against drug groups. So I read that they were trying to deploy military forces into Mexico against cartels, which are also kind of drug groups. And now they're going into the Southern Caribbean to fight drug groups. Like, what? Are we just Team America, World Police again? What the hell is this? I don't understand. I mean, the people in Hawaii from the Lahaina fires literally only received like $700 each. The people in North Carolina from that like hurricane that destroyed all of Asheville literally got 700, like I think they got $700. I'm not sure if they even got two like rounds of payments of 700 or whatever, but last I checked they had only gotten $700. A lot of their insurance claims have been getting denied and taking ages to go through so they can rebuild their houses, because a lot of those people don't even want to leave and just want to rebuild right where their old house got hurricaned. What are the odds that it'll happen again? I don't know, but I wouldn't want to risk it personally. So that is not what's up. I don't know how that's going to help anything else. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance's team had the water level of the Ohio River raised for his family's boating trip. What a nice man, huh? Isn't it good to be the vice president? Isn't it good to be able to take your family on a nice trip boating? And when you get there, you just you can just check out the water real quick and I mean the water looks too low. I don't want to see like the rocks and shit. Usually, we need high tide and shit in here. What's going on? And to have the power to just be able to call somebody and tell them, hey, I need the water level raised on this river. My family's about to have a beach day and the water looks puny. We're gonna be out there at like noon. So chop chop, 5 feet, plus, 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 plus. And it just gets done. I mean, that's JD Vance's life right now. We gotta respect the man on some level for that. I guess. I don't know. But son of the Norwegian princess charged with 4 Rs. Son of Norway's crown princess has been charged with 32 offenses, including 4 really bad ones and several acts of violence and assault, a prosecutor said on Monday. And now what got me where like I was like, oh, I mean, granted, this is a terrible story, don't get me wrong. But I found out somewhere in here the the crown princess's son, like, what the hell do you call a princess's son? Duke or some shit? Duke Cheshington right here, Marius, Marius Borg Hoyby. He is the princess's son from a previous baby daddy. So she was with her baby daddy. She had this turd, and she got with the prince, left her baby daddy, took her turd, and raised him as the prince's son as well, I guess. Crazy. But Marius always felt different. They had 2 other children that were legitimate, and those children were always favored. It felt like it seems like even the servants in the castle treat them differently. They look to Marius almost like an equal. Like, yes, son, we know. And when they look at his siblings, they look at them like spoiled little brats. He never understood this, but on some level he did, because he wasn't just born when they switched families, you know. He was old enough to understand there's a difference. His siblings are younger. He was a glorified something or other, you know. And the older he got, the more this internal feeling manifested. You know, it might have manifested in reckless driving for a while. Maybe he would go to boxing gyms or, get the guards to find him people to beat up that would be cool, not getting him in trouble about, you know. And eventually he started hitting women, and then worse, I guess. And I'm just afraid that they're not going to learn. And that because he is the son of the princess, they're going to blow him up, Tom, on the news. Like, what is this? I haven't seen this on any other news feed besides RFI.fr. French. Is this French news? So Norway might have been trying to sweep it under the rug already. And this random French publication found out about it and put it out, because usually when somebody like this, like that Prince Andrew, I believe was his name, when something like this comes to light, they very rarely even seek court. And when they do, it's usually more of like a public display that this is what happens to bad people. But he's going to end up probably at worst serving in some sort of like club fed type situation where it's like living in a country club. His poor siblings, step siblings, step siblings. They have the same mom. He was raised by the royal couple alongside his step siblings. Okay, but if we have the same mom, I thought she had the children with right, who was born from a relationship before Crown Princess married Crown Prince Haakon. Kind of a fucking Viking name is Haakon. Has been under investigation since the arrest. Yeah, I thought they had children. I guess maybe Hakan already had two kids too, and that's why they're step, because it's the same mom, different dad, that's half. That's not step. Princess Ingrid Alexandra. What a beautiful name. Ingrid. You really see a lot of beautiful women in the Ingrid. What would a nickname be for Ingy? Ingrid. Ingrid. When she's mad, you call her Ingrid. Stop being Ingrid. When she's nice, you call her Ingy. What's up, Ingy? And Prince Sverre Magnus, age 21 and 19. Unlike them, however, he has no official public role. See, so even the prince's kids are prince and princess. But Marius is just a hoiby. He's not Duke Ellington, nothing like that. I don't know. Seemed a little odd. All right, let's round this up, guys. It's getting late. It's almost fucking 4 a.m. I gotta go make jewelry in the morning. But keep an eye out. I've been recording music as well. I've been stashing beats, recording heat. Stay tuned. A new album coming before the end of the year, maybe even two. I got a bunch of songs recorded. I need to see which ones are worthy of potentially nobody's ears. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Israeli government official arrested in Nevada in internet crimes against children sting. Tom Artom Alexandrovich was released and returned to Israel after being charged with luring a child for a sex act. This happens a lot, guys. Google it. Bunch of Israeli government officials, people who allegedly work for the Israeli government or embassies or shit like that. They come out here, they end up getting caught for some shit like this, and then they get extradited to Israel. And Israel basically says, "What are you doing? Send them back." And they get sent back, and then nothing happened. They literally, not even a, not even like a, "Hey, buddy, don't be doing that." Like, no, it's just a regular thing. They send people back all the time. They keep working in their roles, and life goes on in Israel. But free them, right? We gotta free them first, huh? Hibachi at home. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. West Virginia National Guard to deploy to DC for federal takeover. Yeah, apparently there's been a big protest going on in DC as well, and they're keeping it off the news. Like it hasn't been covered anywhere on any news, anything. But same with the California. There's been giant protests like at the California detention centers of like where they're keeping, I think, illegal immigrants or, people they're trying to deport. All the ICE raids are taking people to. And I saw there was a large demonstration there last night also. I seen that one live on YouTube, but it was just like some random person from LA just like out there filming it. Like, what the hell? Why isn't this being covered anywhere? It's like, they're purposely suppressing this news. So keep an eye out because some news might come out about that in the next couple days. Pilot of Delta Air Flight performs aggressive maneuver to avoid mid-air collision with B-52 bomber. Delta pilot, thank you, sir, because they wanted that B-52 to crash, just like the helicopter, just like the helicopter over the Potomac River. Yeah, I'll be here all week. No, I think that was the grace of God and that pilot of the Delta flight because it was some sort. I read this earlier, and it's some sort of situation where I forget if it was the B-52 was flying off or if they were flying and had to like reroute or something, and then they just ended up right face to face in path with a B-52. But it seems like one of those situations where, somebody could have definitely been like, hey, those B-52s are just gathering dust. We've only maintained 2 out of the 5. Like, I wish somebody would crash one of those, right? Terrible people. Google engineer dies in Yosemite after being struck by falling tree branch. Right, I don't know about that. That could be fishy, but might just be sad, unfortunate. And we wish her family well, but I don't know. I don't know. Oh, we're gonna reinstate the presidential fitness test. I took that in high school. Now you kids will have to too. See, the Neff's got to go through what the Unks did. All right, guys. That is gonna wrap us up for this week. I love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, I'm recording this Monday. It's probably not going to go up till Tuesday, but I'll try to get another one out this week. Saturday, hopefully, I'll record it and either upload it immediately after or Sunday. Yep. Check me out. Check out all my music at BB Angel on all platforms except iTunes. I think they still got me as Baja Bo over there. So what can we do? Thank you guys. Good night.